Hello, Mr. Logan. My name is Zachary DeBaugh. I'm going to be interviewing you today about your son. I have went over his medical records that you provided, and so I have some basic information on that. But if you could just give me just his age.
Yeah, he's like 3 years and about I think 3, 4 months old now.
Okay, cool, cool. And his name is?
John.
All right. So we are all set there. All right, and we're just going to get some basics out of the way. Can you describe his language ability for me?
He's pretty nonverbal. He usually has like one word utterances sometimes, but otherwise he kind of grunts and gestures.
Okay, okay, awesome. Does he attend a school of any kind right now?
No, not really. No school.
Okay, so he's just at home. Got you. Can you describe just some basic play skills and maybe some toys or activities that he likes doing?
He plays with toys pretty well. He really likes toys that seem to like have some kind of audio simulation, like they make noise, make play little songs, stuff like that. He has like a little faux keyboard that he really likes.
All right, cool. And is there anything else in particular, any kind of activity that he may prefer alongside that the soundboard kind of stuff?
He really likes it when we give him like physical attention, like if we like bounce him on our knee or we kind of like toss him up a little bit in the air. Just kind of like I guess interactive stuff.
Okay, some physical play with you. Okay. And the last kind of basic question we got here, is your child taking any medication for their behaviors right now?
Not currently, no meds.
Okay. All right. And now we're going to go into actually more of the specific behaviors that we're talking about right now. So what are the current problem behaviors that you see?
The biggest one is probably he like has some like behavior where he kind of like injures himself, like self-injures behavior. And then a lesser degree some aggression. Those are kind of our major concerns.
Okay, and what do those behaviors look like when you see them?
Um, the celibate injured behavior is mostly that he will kind of end up like either like hitting himself, like either with like one of his toys, or like he'll start like banging his head against a wall, furniture, sometimes slapping himself as well. And then sometimes the lesser problem, like the aggression, he'll may like slap at us, I think, to like try and get our attention or so forth, so on. But it's not great.
Okay, okay. I understand. I could see how that could be very concerning to see. And out of those two behaviors that you're expressing to me right now, what do you think is the single most concerning problem behavior for you?
Definitely the headbanging and self-injurious behavior.
Okay. All right. And so you kind of told me about what those behaviors look like. If you could put them into kind of like a high, moderate, or low range in terms of intensity. High range being that sometimes there's real physical harm, possibly blood, bruising. Moderate range being definitely some marks being made onto the skin when these aggressions and self-injurious behavior is happening. And low range being not super severe. Some may leave a mark that goes away pretty quickly, but typically no lasting damage. Where would you put those?
Mm, I'd say probably the Gresham's low rank, like not very impressive. He doesn't really seem to do like any physical injury damage to us at all. I'm more concerned about the self-injury behavior. Sometimes he will have some slight marks, so I'd probably say at least moderate for that one, like
Moderate
medium rank.
range for that. Okay. Okay. And now we're going to talk about some of the precursors to the behaviors, what we call the antecedent to the behavior. So kind of what happens before. So um, do these types of behaviors tend to occur in bursts or clusters, or do they typically happen? Does one of them precede the other?
Um, they do seem to kind of cluster together. I think they're both triggered by him getting really upset. Like he'll be fine for like several hours, like playing with his toys and stuff like that.
Hmm.
And then he'll try to get our attention or ask for something specific, and he'll get a little bit aggressive first, usually, like try to slap at us, try to get shout just to get our attention. And then when that usually doesn't give him the response he wants, he will resort to the self-injurious behavior.
Got you. Okay. And under what conditions or situations are the problem behaviors most likely to occur?
Basically, when we try to transition him from like a play activity to something that we need to get done, like if we try to take his toys away so he'll come eat dinner or for like a bath, or if we don't give him a certain toy that he wants, that seems to be the big triggers.
Okay, so transitioning between activities, that kind of thing. Gotcha, gotcha. Do these behaviors reliably occur during any particular activity?
Yeah, definitely like I said, whenever we try to take stuff away to eat or whenever it's
Okay,
time to put him down for bed.
gotcha. So they reliably occur and the trigger to the behavior seems to be the removal of the toy or just moving on to something else.
Hmm.
Gotcha. All right. And does the behavior occur when you're breaking any kind of routine or interrupting a certain activity?
Um, Interrupting activities, yes. Certain routines, not really. We don't have like a set schedule necessarily. We try to have a set bedtime for him, but dinner can sometimes happen depending on when wife or I get home and like when we make dinner and everything like that.
All right, all right. So no necessarily, 6 p.m. is dinner, 8 p.m. is bedtime. It's more free flowing through how the day is going, correct?
Yeah, unfortunately, yes.
Gotcha. No, no worries. Um, so moving on to, we're gonna try to focus on what happens after the behavior occurs. So kind of what your and your wife's reaction will be to these behaviors. So just in that, so how do you and others react to the behavior when you see it?
We usually will kind of let him get the aggression out of the system. We don't really respond to it a lot, but when he starts doing the head banging or the slapping himself, we try to block it just because we don't want him to hurt himself. And we sometimes give the toy back, trying to just reduce the distress he's feeling.
Got you. Okay. So typically just ignoring or not giving attention to the aggressions, but for the SIB, which is a little bit more severe, from what you said, you definitely want to block that. Got you. All right. And what do you do to calm him down once he's engaging in this behavior?
Usually, giving the toy back helps a lot. And then afterwards, just giving him a little bit extra attention, kind of like soothing him, like comforting, and then that's usually the main part of it.
Okay. All right. So just getting into some of these, just a few kind of wrap up questions here. Just kind of getting your opinion on the behaviors, and what you feel about them. So, what do you think he's trying to communicate with this behavior?
Um, I think that basically he wants a toy or he wants to continue his playtime without our interference or without disrupting it for another activity. I think he gets really fixated on what his playtime is, especially with some of these certain toys.
All right. Okay. Do you think this behavior is possibly a form of self-stimulation?
I don't think so. He doesn't seem to actually enjoy the act of hurting himself or hitting himself. Because afterwards he'll like get tearful and cry and he'll act like it was unpleasant or hurtful for him. So I don't think he's doing it to comfort himself or anything.
Okay, so you think he definitely feels the pain from it, so it's just his reaction or how he's maybe communicating what he's feeling. That's just how he chooses to do it. Okay. All right.
Mhm.
And just lastly, just to wrap this all up, why do you think he's engaging in this problem behavior?
Um, I guess really he just wants to have control over like when he has a toy or whenever it's playtime and dinner time, stuff like that. I think it's just kind of a way that he makes sure that his environment is corresponding to what he wants to do.
Okay, I understand. So maybe just his way of communicating to you of that he wants this specific thing at this time. Okay.
I think so.
All right, Mr. Logan. Well, thank you so much for doing this interview.
Yeah,
A
yeah.
lot of good information here, and we'll be back to you soon.
My pleasure. Thank you.
You have a great day.
I'll try.